Hey folks, this is Yik and Shangalar,
Yeah.
Uncle Shangalar. We spent the better part of an hour recording a game with the random encounters. We were playing a high elf team, a fresh team, so he had because we were 1040 TV and we had a loner. He got some inducements, and I, for the life of me, can't remember which inducement he picked.
No.
Probably babes or a reroll. The game was going pretty well. We were up 1-0 on turn 7, scored on turn 15, and the game crashed. This has been happening somewhat regularly for me, and it's kind of annoying. I can't even reconnect to the game here. I mean, I don't have any reconnect buttons here. So, yeah, we'll have to wait at least 4 minutes for our turn to timeout. And if we don't reconnect, we probably register this as a forfeit, which is just retarded or really bad because we were winning.
Yeah.
That means we might lose. Here we go. So let's go into history here. Okay, so apparently we conceded the game because it crashed, and this is, of course, like just unacceptable because we would have gotten we missed out on an MVP. We missed out on a potential level. What was this injury again? We got a minus movement injury, which we couldn't even save because we didn't get any money. So yeah, this just sucks a whole lot of donkey balls. We would have gotten enough money to maybe buy a Minotaur or something. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what we're supposed to do in this situation. I mean, we have a minus movement chaos warrior isn't it isn't the end of the world, but it's just kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Since we had a reroll, we did have an APO ready just for that. Our recording also crashed, but let's see if we can go into history and just watch the replay here. Okay, so we'll go over this. So we'll just go over this quickly. In the we decided to start the drive. So let's just we'll do our view. So we started to stay here. We decided to go for a classic Chaos Warriors on the pitch here to punch some dudes. So pretty standard turn 1, we punch some guys. His defensive turn was to get guys over here. We decided to blitz this guy off the ball. We surrounded his players over here to just create a scrum and create a hitting match, which we're pretty decent at since we have high armor. He of course dodges his players away and moves them over here. We got a KO on the runner, on the catcher here, so he wasn't in danger. That allows us to use this opening to move players over here. We were pretty lucky on the pass here, so if you see this, we pass the guys, put the ball over here, put a sort of a safety over here. We left one Chaos Warrior over here on these dudes, and left the loner. What's the loner over here? He was pretty unlucky on the 2+ dodges in the first half, I think. He also spent almost all of his rerolls on those 2+ dodges, right?
Yeah. Yep. Pretty early, I think.
Yep, and you can see it's turn 3 and he's already out of rerolls. So we decided to make a standard sideline cage here. And here's then collect on some blocks, so this is the situation here. Loner here with the move of the game. He punched guys off the pitch, and that resulted in an injury. And that's a niggling, so that's +1 to any injuries. So right now we're in a pretty good spot. We have a sideline cage and a light screen here. We decided to base his elf with our plus strength Chaos Warrior. And so he decides to move over here to create some, to just stay in the way, and I think that's a pretty good way to pressure the ball. But he spends most of this turn moving players into position. Let's see, he decides to blitz this player to get a guy on the corner of the cage, and I think that's a good idea. So he decides to, he dodges a player out to put him here on one of the cage corners, and I think that's a pretty good idea. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, okay, interesting. He again fails his 1+ dodges. That's why we continue to base players. I guess we could have blitzed with this guy over here, and that means, but still, and since it was a knockdown, this guy could have moved over. No, it was a push. So, and here things go horribly wrong on our drive. That is. So we blitz this guy, and we only get a push, and we push him over here. And we try to make one going for it, which we fail. Then we spend a reroll, and all hell breaks loose.
Yes, that just proves that you can't change the past.
Apparently not. So now he has 5 players ready to do something to the ball. And that puts us in a pretty shitty situation. He surfs my player, which is, I believe, the correct move. I would have done the same in his place. The ball scatters to the best place for him. He has a free player here, and there's nothing we can do about it. So we're really lucky that he rolled a push here, because if he would have rolled a POW, the game he would have definitely scored. He stands up players here, and he moves here and just moves players into position. Picks up the ball because he's Elves and it's pretty safe. Now he doesn't actually have to do anything to score, so we decide to simply throw the dice, as it were, remembering to stand up our players first. We forgot that before, with this one at least. So we create a scrum here. We move this guy over here so we can attempt a surf later. We collect on a 2-die block, that's relatively safe over here, and I believe we do it over here as well. We spend a reroll on it, so that's unfortunate. And then Manticore here saves the game. Like a champ. And remember those 2 failed going for it with a reroll? Well, the game just decided to say, ah, fuck it. And we pick up the ball. Let's see, and then we collect on a block here. Now, he has a free player and he just decides to blitz here, and he just gets a push. He's out of rerolls. We have 1 reroll left. He moves players down here, which is a pretty smart thing to do. That will give him more blocks on the ball later. He makes a lot of dodges here. I guess his dice are catching up to him. And yeah, so our turn 7 is going to be so our plan here isn't great, but it's the only one we got. So we put a player in scoring position. We probably should have put this one in scoring position as well. Seeing it now, I think we definitely should have moved him over here just to make sure that we have an extra player in scoring position. But that's how you gain experience. We collect on a relatively, and we could have just blitz here and move him over here. And that might have been a great idea, but of course, me being bloodthirsty, I always base players. And then we make a ridiculously elfy play. We roll a natural 6 on a long bomb and fail to catch it. But we spend a reroll on the catch. So we caught the damn ball. And our player here has block. So like it's a 1 in 3 chance to knock down the ball carrier. He decides to move players into position here before doing a pretty elfy play, but since he's elves, he's fine. And then he rolls up down, or a defender stumbles, I believe, and knocks our player down, and we have no recourse left. I mean, if this player would have been here, this would have been a 2-die against. And he fumbles the throw, which again was a 6+2 here, I believe, or here.
Yeah.
So, to score, we have to make pretty healthy plays again. Do we have the luck with us? You'll find out in a bit. But this pass here was a fluke. I was mostly throwing it to have the ball scatter from here, to have it like away from him. So I move players into here to just block the receivers. I probably should have blitzed this guy. And we don't even, so the idea was to dodge, pick up the ball, dodge, throw it to here, and make 2 going for us to score. He doesn't even make the dodge to try to blitz the guy off the ball. So everybody rolling around the pitch like chaps. 0-0 in our own drive, so that's pretty bad. We start defending here, so let's get a little alpha vision. I decide to spread my Chaos Warriors out here over the pitch to simply give him a chance of blocking, but we have armor 9, so we're pretty safe. I believe, let's see, let's back up here. So, on his turn 9, what happened again? Let's see how his turn ended. Oh, he's still setting up. Okay, so here's the kickoff. I believe he gets no, he gets a high kick. So I assume since he was elves, he's just gonna catch it. But apparently, Nuffle has decided that Chaos are more elfy than elves.
Really?
So he moves over here and he just moves players into a light screen for the ball. He decides to throw a 1-die blitz over here. It turns into a POW. That's pretty good for him. I have wrestled. This could have been somewhat dangerous for him. He injures Intellect Devours, but it's only
with some kind of phantom punch there. Apparently.
Yeah, but it's only a miss next game. I decide to save my apothecary for. I decide to save my apothecary for. I decide to save my apothecary. What? Yeah, for a Chaos Warrior.
Oh, yeah, right.
Since it's only, I mean, it's a skilled, and he fails a dodge over here and is knocked down.
Really didn't want Death Knight to die or something.
Yeah, because he is a plus strength. We simply decided to base all of his players first before throwing any blocks. I think my idea here was to just shove players down his throat to make him, because he has to make those 2+ dodges. But in this half, he learned not to spend all of his rerolls on set two die dodges.
No.
So we only rolled a push. Normally, I would place him over here to have to be able to surf him, but seeing as how we didn't really know he can easily receive with 1 die, so I decided to push him over here to force him to have more dodges. So here he's making the standard Elfie 2+ dodges into a light screen. If I was him, I'd probably have 2 spaces in between my players. He fails this one and re-rolls it and fails it again. So this creates our opportunity to score, to put more pressure on the ball. So I simply decide to base more elves, seeing as how that's been working swimmingly in our games here. And I do decide to surf this player, not with the loner, but with Gorgon. I don't think anything bad happens. Nope, he's over here, he's fine. I punch this player and it's not knockdown, and I decide to simply base this player with Horned Devil here, just to make sure that, just to put some pressure on the ball and have him scramble for it a bit. So this is a push, and this is a loner, and it turns into a 2 die. Both down, but he has block, so I really don't care. I decided not to re-roll it since I really wasn't in a hurry to do anything. However, see that this Blitzer is currently occupying like 5 players. That is amazing team value. Likewise, my Chaos Warriors here, who are 110k, I think, are occupying like almost 2 to 1 over here. Whoa, a little bit, but it's 3 players like tying up 4 players over here. That's pretty good. He's pretty unlucky and rolls a push here, but he decides to not follow up. And again, he starts failing these elf dodges here. But he already spent a reroll this turn, right? Yeah, he failed the dodge over here and spent a reroll on that. So he's got 1 reroll left, and we still have 1, 2, 3, and he still has 5 turns to go. So we simply decide to again shove players down his throat to make sure that, hopefully get him to fail some dice rolls. I decide to still leave this player here as a sort of a safety. I blitz here, get a push, that's all I need, and then decide to put a little pressure on the ball. So now I have 1 tackles on the ball, and it's a lot harder. And then we collect on blocks over here. Can't remember, I block here. I get a both down, and I decide to take it since I'm in no hurry to spend my rerolls just yet. He again decides to move a player over here. He makes a dodge to blitz this player, and he knocks him down. That puts him in a pretty decent position, but he doesn't have any receivers over here. He throws a 1 die that turns into a down. It's pretty good for him. It's pretty risky, but then again, it's Elves, so he's in a pretty risky situation. And he puts down a receiver over here. This is why we have this guy over here. The blitzer here stunned himself on the thing. So right now we just decide to start by basing this player, just in case that we fail the blitz that's about to happen here. We move this guy over here just to base him. So, okay, we can see everybody here. And then we decide to move this player over here, so these players will have more difficulty getting over here. We throw a block, and it's a down. We push him to the middle of our players and get a KO, and the ball scatters right on top of our beastman here. Right on top of the flump, even. I didn't even notice that. That's hilarious. And then we get a both down here, and seeing as how I still don't feel like spending rerolls and we already have an extra player here, I just decide to take it. He does a dodge here and does a 2-die blitz on the ball carrier. And it's a down, and he pushes it over here. I think what he wanted to have happen was, I think he wanted the ball to fall over here so he can dodge and pick it up.
And then he gets...
And then he gets knocked down. Where does he get knocked down? Over here.
Yeah.
But fails. So his play was to dodge here, and then dodge all the way over here to pick up the ball.
And the ball scatters to the elf, the other elf.
Yeah, and the ball scatters over here. That's a pretty decent scatter.
Yeah.
But I just decide to, well, do a bit of chaos and orc play and just shove players down his throat. That's been working pretty decently for me. I again decided to leave an extra player here just in case. So here we blitz this player to here, so that we can again blitz, punch him again over here. We failed the dodge. We failed the pickup here, and I decided not to re-roll it since I wasn't in a... Again, it's a 4+, picking up the ball is a 3+. So instead we decide to put 3 guys on the ball here, and then we throw collect armor blocks here, and it's an armor break, and with a fist pump here, and I believe we don't do anything else this turn. I didn't throw any blocks here because I didn't want to risk rolling the skull.
No.
His first action is a dodge into 3 tackle zones to pick up the ball, so that's a 5+ because he's an elf. And non-surprisingly that fails. I start by moving players here on to create more of a scrum. I could throw some blocks here, but I decided that picking up the ball is slightly more important.
Yeah. Ever so slightly.
Yeah. So I collect on my blocks here. I suppose, did I blitz this turn?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I blitz over here, I think.
Oh.
So he makes 2 dodges into a 1-die block against the guy with block, into that guy with nothing, and he gets a down. And keep going for it to... and then he fails more of the elf dodges.
Yeah.
And it's an injury. I think that was only a badly hurt. Yep. So that frees up another of our players. See, even though... like, we didn't have to throw any blocks.
No.
Now I decide to move my players up to get into a more of a resistance. But I decide that the blitz here is probably the best action since I want...
Pick up the ball and get a touchdown.
Yep. So this happened on turn 15. So what happens here is rather shitty. Again, since the game is apparently not very optimized, I pick up my team here. So he's got 1 turn. Since he can theoretically get a 1-turner with the catcher, so to do a 1-turner, you would put your catcher. Let's see. I spaced out my players, so it wouldn't really be possible. But if I put my players up here, you would put your players in like a sort of a knot here, and you would have to blitz a player here and crowd surf your guy so he goes 3 spaces up. This is pretty hard to do, especially since you don't have a lot of strength to do it. And I can show you how to do it with my human team in just a moment, since I tried to go for the 1-turner in my... Well, you can see it in the in the human game, which is currently on YouTube. On the last turn, I tried to go for the one-turner. So here we kick it. He gets an extra reroll, and as soon as let's see. Over here, he decides to collect on some block. He gets it down. That's pretty standard. And he stuns my players. I'm not really too miffed about that. He throws a punch over here. And he punches the loner, and I don't really have.
That's what he's there for.
So he steps on this guy and kills him.
Huh.
He kills this guy. Where the hell did the? How did we get a minus movement? What the what? And then, after his turn was over, my game crashed. There is no reconnect button. Thanks, Cyanide. I'd really appreciate one, by the way.
It's pretty fucking.
And and when his turn is over, he manages to score 3 touchdowns because Cyanide says so. Instead of it's the last turn, it's my turn. What I would have done is I would have thrown 1 block with a Chaos Warrior, and that's it. And then the game would have been over and we would have won. Instead, we lose 1 MVP, all of our money, and yeah, because there is no reconnect button over here anywhere.
It's pretty fucking
and even
inexcusable.
The replay shows that I already won the fucking game.
Yeah.
This is just awful. And he didn't even have any turns left, so he couldn't score 3 touchdowns.
Exactly.
So apparently, elves have developed some sort of technology to move faster than the speed of love.
Or they just used Professor Stone Cold's time machine.
Or that. But still. So, we already won the game, and
then we retroactively lose.
Yes, because the game crashes a lot. I think it's because I have 2 screens or because of the recording software, but still. We need a reconnect button, or maybe you just configure your game so that you can see that when a player is down 1-0 and has no turns left, that he loses the game. Well, that was pretty annoying, but it was a pretty short video. So I was enjoying this game until the last turn, and now I'm kind of just pissed.
If I was a bit quiet during this, while we were watching the replay, it's simply because I already commented on the game and I didn't really feel like doing it again.
Yeah. So in any case, Cyanide, please fix this. The rest of you, I hope you enjoyed this very really short version of the game that I what do you call these?
Like finger quotes?
Yes, finger quotes.
Air quotes.
Air quotes, 1. So, in any case, like, comment, subscribe. If any of you Cyanide folks are watching, please, if you can, fix this or reprogram this or whatever. I'm sure it's very difficult, but come on. This is
you'll be saving everyone a lot of grief.
Yeah, and you're actually detracting enjoyment from, you're actually like making me not enjoy the game. So I thought apparently this was from an old game, so but still this is from the game before, I guess, since this is a missed game.
Yeah.
And apparently I'd forgotten about it since there's 1 week between these games. But again, thanks to what was it? Taco Truck. Yeah, thanks to Taco Truck for the game, and thanks for killing the loner. That was pretty hilarious. But yeah, other than that, have a good one, and 3 touchdowns in no turns. I really want to see how they do that.
Maybe just dribble the ball up and down.
Yeah. Well, in any case, have a good one, and see ya. Like, comment, subscribe, what have you. See you around, folks.
See ya.